Hello, everyone. It's time for Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanas. This is episode 223, season 9. Today's date is May 27, 2023, and welcome to the program. On today's program, I will talk about amusement parks that I have visited in the Chicagoland area and the ones that I have not. I've touched this subject before many times, but this was based on a popular post on Facebook, and I shared it on my page, Fan Chicagoland, and also on Twitter, and I got great responses for that. So I'll discuss this. Also, I'll do my tribute to singer Tina Turner. She just passed away this week. And I'll talk about my memories of watching her on TV, listening to her music on the radio, and my CD, and on my CDs, and also on my Apple Music right now. Okay. Before I get started, the program will go into commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Fruit Fresh. This is a produce protector. And this commercial is from 1977, and it features two women and Sam the dog, who loves peaches. I remember this commercial very well. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the program. Thank you, everyone.
Francis, Sam like peaches. My first country baked peach pie, and my first try at preserving peaches.
You forgot Fruit Fresh.
Is it important?
Wouldn't preserve without it. Fruit Fresh has a special ingredient that locks in freshness. See, your peach turned brown. Mine with Fruit Fresh stayed fresher.
Taste fresher.
Sam, he likes peaches.
Fruit Fresh for canning or freezing keeps fruit tasting fresher.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Fruit Fresh. I can't say it. It's a tongue twister. Fruit Fresh, Fruit Fresh. This product was introduced, I don't know what year exactly, in the mid-70s. But like I said before, I remember this commercial fondly with Sam the dog. He likes peaches. The product is still around. You can find it any grocery store, Target, Walmart, order on Amazon. It's supposed to lock in fresh and doesn't make your fruit turn brown, yucky, that. Ugh, I hate that. There's nothing worse than looking at yucky fruit. So, let's see what else. So, I never used the product. I don't remember my mom buying it. I told her about it one time. She goes, "Nah, I ain't buying it." Okay, fine. And so it's amazing how you remember commercials back in the day and their memorable lines and their characters. And that was one of them. Yeah, so it's very nostalgic. It makes you feel good. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I said I'm going to talk about the amusement parks that I visited in the Chicagoland area and the ones I have not. Also do a tribute to singer Tina Turner. Before I get started, I want to mention something. Last night, I did something strange. When you watch TV or you hear on the radio or about celebrities, they Google themselves. You've probably seen this on YouTube. Once they about movie stars, television stars, and they ask, do you Google yourself to see? And some of them goes no or yes, based on curiosity. Some are like, for example, if you're an actor or an actress, they would check IMDb. That's a movie database on the website, or Wikipedia, like that. So I did a Google search about me and Van Chicagoland. I did both. You'd be surprised what you find about yourself. Because it's, first of all, it's kind of creepy. Someone else might be looking at your information and like that. I think there's a way to turn that up, but I don't have nothing to hide. Mostly about me is they show about Van Chicagoland. And there's a few articles. There's the one I was interviewed by Chicago Magazine about a couple of months ago. Also, the article in the Sun-Times, the Chicago Sun-Times, that is, last year in August. And also even past articles. Even my first one I was interviewed back then in 2014. I found that. So people find me and search and reread. And also about the podcast. They can click on and listen. They could do that. What was interesting, this is something I just found out that was very nice, that there's a few blogs from people. They've written about me and my podcast, also on my website. And there were a few reviews, and they said they love listening to me. They love my page and all that. I mean, that's wonderful. I'm very gratified that they do that. And someday I might share one of them and post it on my social media accounts. That was surprising. And also reviews about the podcast there. Most were favorable. There were a couple not. They say, one said, you shouldn't do this. You're terrible. Stop it. Okay, fine. So I just ignore it. Just ignore it and move around like that. So it's like looking at a car wreck on a highway. It's just, you can't help it. You search it like that. Also, one last thing. There was an article in the Chicago Tribune, and I'm trying to remember her name. She writes for the. I don't know if her name is Heidi Stevens, I believe, and she wrote about this young man. He wanted to be a ballet dancer, but he endured bullyism, and he was taunted by that because he liked ballet. And I tweeted. It was on Twitter. And I said, I know where this is coming from because I was bullied myself, because I like what I like, and people don't understand. Kids, adults, even people I've never met, and it was traumatic. And I told them the scars are still there. I'm still hurt, and it was a hard time for me when I was younger to make friends. I still feel that way. It's hard. I never want to go through that again. Never. And I don't want anyone else to do that too. Because sometimes it leads to problems, like maybe drugs or suicide or, worse. That never happened to me. Thank God. I had the support of my mom and dad and my brothers. So, but I was lonely. And being lonely, that you don't have the same interests is really, it's awful. But as you get older, you accept it, you move on, and then you gain new friends naturally. And then now I've become very popular. I make friends a lot through Facebook and Twitter, and I talk to people, and they talk to me. And it's nice, it's lovely, I like that. I am here to listen, and, I hope they are there for me to say something. I don't say anything negative. I'm not that type of person. Maybe something comical or, facetious like that once in a while, but not very often, because my parents taught me to respect people, no matter what, but it's tough. It really is. Okay. So on with the show. Let's talk about the amusement parks that I visit and have not visited in the Chicagoland area. Now, this was based on a post, I believe, yesterday. This was sent over on my group, Van Chicagoland. I have a page and a group. And I approved it. And this was kind of cool. I don't know. I don't think he created it. I don't believe so. But someone did. And it said, Chicagoland amusement parks, 1 point for every park you visited. I thought it'd be kind of fun. So here's the list, what it says. It goes like this. There's Riverview Park, Adventureland, Old Chicago, Santa's Village, Kittyland, Fairyland, Playland, Dispensa's Kitty Kingdom, Six Flags, Enchanted Forest, Indiana. And this is based on point. You get 1 point if you visit on each of the parks. And the last part says 1 extra point for naming any other park not listed. Okay, that sounds like fun. And so I'm going to talk about me. I didn't do this on Facebook, so I saved it for the podcast. And so here we go. For Riverview Park, it's no, because it closed in 1967. When it closed, I was about 3 or 4 years old, and I never went. I wish I did. I've talked about Riverview many, many, many times. It's one of the most popular subjects for Vanished Chicagoland on Facebook and Twitter. Every time I post a photo of that, boom, it just, you get the comments. One of the most rides, of course, was the Bob's, the roller coaster. And others like the Flying Turns and et cetera, and anything to do with Riverview, when it's a black and white photo or a color photo, and the attractions. So that's number one, because it was there the longest, and it was in Chicago. So let's see what we got. Oh, I have the list right here. So, well, I'll start with this. Anyway, so we have Adventureland. I never went there. I'll get to that. I'll get to those in a minute, especially and particularly this one. Old Chicago. I almost went. Never went. Santa's Village. No. Kittyland. Once. I went once. A long time ago. Fairyland. No. Playland? Yes. Dispensa's Kitty Kingdom? No. Six Flags? Yes. Twice. Enchanted Forest in Indiana? No. I've never been. Okay. So I got a list of the defunct amusement parks in Illinois, mostly Chicago. So here we go. I'm going to give a little information. So the first one, this is in alphabetical order. And the first one is Adventureland that was located in Addison. The first opened in 1961, closed in 1977. A couple of rides from Riverview went there. Not all of them. And it was very popular at the time, but then had a little run-in with financially. So that was that. Next one was Disney Quest Chicago. That was like kind of an amusement park that was located in downtown Chicago. I never went there, but people said they found it fascinating. It was something different. But that only lasted about 2 years, and that was indoors, like old Chicago, like that. Next one, Dispensa's Kitty Kingdom in Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois, next to Dispensa's Castle of Toys. And that opened in 1975 and closed in 1984. And you remember the commercial, Kids Are King at Dispensa's Kitty Kingdom. And also the jingle for the toy store. They showed us on Bozo's Circus back in the day. You can find those commercials on YouTube. Okay. There was a water slide. It was called Ebenezer Flop and Slopper's Wonderful Water Slides. Yeah, water slides count. That was also in Oak Brook Terrace. I don't know exactly where. That ran from 1980 to 1987. That was mid-80s. But, I'm not really a fan of water slides because I'm kind of scared, sort of like heights, and I don't like to get wet. Water makes me nervous, especially if I look at an ocean. Ugh, no, thank you. Even when I'm on a plane, I see the ocean, I go, oh, no. People love it. They love to go into the beach and all that. That's great. Me, nah, not a fan. There was another park called Electric Park. A lot of people don't remember this one, and that was located in Plainfield, and that was in the earliest 20th century. That was from 1904 to 1932. And don't know much about that park. Maybe someday I'll talk about it. Should be interesting. There's Fairyland Park in Lyons. That's about 40th Street in Harlem. A lot of people mentioned that on my page. That ran from 1938 to 1977. Had a lengthy time, being there. One of the earliest park in Forest Park was Forest Park, and that was from 1908 to 1922. So that opened around a little after Riverview. I think it had one of the earliest roller coasters. I don't know if that was the first one. It was the first park that featured a roller coaster. It could be Riverview. I don't know. I'll figure that out. There was a place called Fun Harbor in Waukegan. That's from 1992 to 2008. I never heard about this. Do a little research on that. Next up is Fun Town. That was on the south side. It was located on East 95th Street in South Stony Island in the Pill Hill neighborhood, like the Jeffrey Manor neighborhood, like that. It was called Kittytown Amusement Park first from 1950 to 1967, and then they renamed it Funtown from 1967 to 1982. And a lot of people this was not in the list, but a lot of people remember this park fondly, and they loved going there. And they had a blast going there. I remember seeing the rides when I was in elementary school at Correas. I saw the rides from the background, and the bus took us home, and we took Stony Island on the way there. And I remember seeing them. They had the rides. The park wasn't open that then, probably around. This is before when school ended, like that. And people miss that place. I don't know much information or what rides were there. I know there was a little roller coaster. I'm sure there was other rides. I wish there was more information. I did a little research, but I'll dig in more. I wish there was like a pamphlet or guide, that would tell you all the rides listed. Okay. Next one is Green Oaks Kittyland. That was in Oak Lawn from 1946 to 1971. That was at 95th and Pulaski. Right now it's a shopping center. Yeah, not too far from my home. So I never went there. I had no idea. There are a few pictures floating around in the internet like that. And let's see what else. Where's the other list? Oh, here we go. There was also Hollywood Kittyland. That was in Chicago. I think that's the one like Lincoln Avenue in McCormick, right by the border, by Skokie and Lincolnwood. I was there from 1949 to 1974. There's pictures of that. Okay. Also, there was Joyland Park that was on the south side. I don't know where exactly that was. That ran for 2 years from 1923 to 1925. I got to do a little more research of that. Of course, there was Kittyland in Melrose Park, one of the most well-known parks at that time. And that ran from 1929 to 2009. And also, that was demolished a year later in 2010. So last I heard, somebody said there's a Costco there now. I believe that. And, I went once years ago, like in the late 80s, 90s, just to visit there. I didn't ride anything. I went with a friend and his family, and they invited me. And I said, okay, but I didn't write anything. I should have, but I didn't. Also, there was Kittytown. That was located in Norwich. Excuse me. That was on Harlem Avenue, near Harlem and Irving, around that area. From 1953 to 1964. It wasn't there very long. Yeah, but there are pictures floating around. There's stories about it. Also, there was Luna Park in Chicago. That was way back, 1907 to 1911. Okay. And next up is Old Chicago in Bolingbrook, the first indoor amusement park in Chicago. I did a podcast episode about that. about a while back, and that ran from 1975 to 1980. I never went there. I almost invited, but I took a pass on it, but I wish I did. I wish I went, just to see it, but no. Okay. Also, there was Playland Park in Justice. Some people say it's Willow Springs, like that. I went there once. I went there when I was in 8th grade. We went on a trip, I think was with my class, I think. Yeah, I believe. It was from 1950. Well, this ran from 1950 to 1979. And the most famous picture of that place was a picture of Bozo, the clown, on a sign. And I went once. The only ride I remember was the Tilt-A-Whirl. I like that ride. Always ride in the carnivals. But it was nice. People loved it back then. They really did. It was on, what did I say, West 79th Street, west of Harlem, like Oquito, but when you go over the bridge. That's where it was, like that. Okay. Next up was Riverview Park. Oh, I never went there, like I said. One of the largest and well-known parks in Chicago, located in Belmont and Western on the north side near Lane Tech High School, WGN Studio, also where DeVry Institute of Technology is, where I went to school in the 80s. Now it's gone, and it's still missed to this day. It really is. Okay, and the next one is Sanssouci Park, or Suchi. I don't know how do you pronounce it. That was from 1899 to 1913, that is. That was around the Jackson Park area, Washington Park. Didn't run very long. That's an interesting park. I might do a podcast episode about them. And the last one is White City. That was when that opened in 1905, ended about in the 1950s, and then it ended operation around 1933, the park that is, and then they had a roller rink, and that closed around 1949. Then they changed the park to Park City, and it closed in 1958. So that sounds like I think there's a book about that or something. It's like a murder mystery. I forgot. Yeah, I think there is. I think Johnny Depp was going to star in it, but it was canceled. I could be wrong. But that's fascinating. Like that. Yeah, I like to do a podcast episode about that. Okay. So anyway, I ran through the list of the parks like that. And so it's an exhausting list, but I'm glad somebody posted this. So it was fun. People chose which ones they visited and not the ones they didn't. And I did mine. And as of now, they're still answering it, on social media. This will go on for a while, of course, like that. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back, and I'm going to talk about singer Tina Turner. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I took a quick break. I had to clear my throat. Pardon me. So right now I'm going to talk a little bit about Tina Turner. She passed away on May 24th this week on Wednesday. I was shocked like that. And she was 83 years old. I'm going to explain a little about her biography a bit, and then my memories about her. So here we go. She was let's see, she was born in Brownsville, Tennessee, and then they moved to but their family moved into it was like I don't know, like a community called Nutbush, Tennessee, not too far from there. And let's see, she wanted to sing, she like that. And then in the late 50s, she met Ike Turner, and they became famous like that. They recorded a few hits, and one one of their first hits was called "A Fool in Love." It was like that, and it was released in 1960, like that. But her most famous other hits was "It's Gonna Work Out Fine," "River Deep," "Mountain High," and also "Proud Mary." You know that Creedence Clearwater Revival sang that, like that, and Nutbush City Limits. They were famous for their songs. But she had a turbulent life with him. He was a drug addict and a wife beater, and a philanderer. Oh, he's bad news, But she stuck with him, you know. That's how it was back then. She could have left then, but she didn't. But in 1976, she did leave him, and she hardly had any money. She was I and she just and then she filed for divorce. This happened in July of 1976. So I don't know where she stayed after that. I guess with friends, just to get her life together. And then because she had they had musical gigs at how would I say that? Reserved, to play and all that. But then they were sued like that, and well, they couldn't because of what happened, because he beat her badly, and then she had enough. That's it. So like that, and then she got her life together, and she needed the money, so she got on television a lot. She did some variety shows. She appeared like on Cher of Sonny and Cher. She appeared on that. She appeared on the Brady Bunch Hour. I remember that episode very well. She was great. Donnie Marie, so at least she got a paycheck, so she's trying to build herself up. And let's see. So also she did appeared on Caesar's, in Las Vegas, Caesar's Palace, and then she started recording, records like that. They weren't very popular then. It started to creep up a bit, and then she released a song, "Let's Stay Together," that was recorded by Al Green in 1983, and that became popular, mostly in England. In the United States, it was okay. It was okay. But then she recorded "Private Dancer," which was released in May in 1984, and that went through the roof. And I remember I didn't listen to the radio. Maybe I did, but I remember watching the video. What's Love Got to Do with It? I think at a friend's house. He had MTV. I didn't have MTV then at the time. But I did see it when in Chicago, when there was a channel 66, that was WGBO, that was WFBN before. When that first went on the air, they showed music videos 24 hours a day, and that lasted from, I think, in the summer to the fall until they go into regular programming. And it was like MTV. They showed it 24 hours, no commercials, no. And I did watch Tina Turner with her videos. And I got hooked, and I did buy her album, and they great singles. What's interesting about that single, "What's Love Got to Do with It?" She didn't want to record it. She didn't particularly care for it, but reluctantly she did, and she says I was wrong. Okay, fine. So the other singles coming up was "Better Be Good to Me" and "Private Dancer." Oh, I love "Private Dancer." That's the best. I love that song. And she performed with other performers like David Bowie, Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones, and then she went on tour. And I found a ticket from the Mill Run Theater that was located in Niles, Illinois. And this is probably before the album was released, or was around that time. And she didn't hit her stride like that. She just, that was before that. Other people say she's wonderful on stage, great singer. But she did appear in movies. She appeared in Tommy, that rock opera in 1973. Also, she went to Australia to star Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That was a good movie. I like that. And she was Aunt Entity. Oh, I liked her in that movie. She was great. Also, she sang a duet with Bryan Adams. She did that. And then she for Max Beyond Thunderdome, she sang the theme song of that. And let's see, what else? And then she released her second album, another solo album, Break Every Rule. My favorite song is that it's Typical Male. It had a great video. I like that one. And the other one was in another album released in 1989 called Foreign Affair, and it had The Best. Oh, I love that. That was like that. And she continued to tour, to the 90s and all that. And then she stopped. She retired. And then she got married and moved to Switzerland. And you didn't see her much like that. Also, they made a movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? That came out in 1993. It starred Angela Bassett. To tell you the truth, I haven't seen the movie. I've seen bits of it, but I heard it was excellent. And the song I Don't Want to Fight became a big hit in 1993. I got to see that movie. I heard it's pretty good. And then she released Goldeneye for the James Bond film, Goldeneye. She did that. And, she's so beloved. And now they're making a musical about her life. Broadway. It's like Tina. They're doing that. Okay. Before I end the show, I'm going to play a commercial that Tina Turner did, and it's for Plymouth Voyager. I found this yesterday, so sit back and relax. And when I come back, I'll do the close of the show. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
If you want something in this life, you got to ask for it. Say you want to know if this Plymouth Voyager is right for you. You can ask a salesman. You know what he's going to say. What you should do is ask somebody who's already got one. And you know what they're going to say? Same thing as the salesman.
Voyager, the best loved minivan in the world.
Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Plymouth Voyager featuring Tina Turner. That car is still around, but it's under Chrysler. So that because Plymouth disappeared around 2000, 2001, doesn't exist anymore. So, but the car's still around. She did a few commercials during the 80s, mostly with Pepsi Cola. There was one memorable one with David Bowie. You can catch that on YouTube if you'd like. It is there. And I remember this very well. I think they played in the Super Bowl. I could be wrong, but I'm sure it was like that. Anyway, so before I sign off, I'll give a quick story about Tina Turner. I worked at City Hall in the late 80s. And there was a woman that worked there, and she dressed like her. Yeah, like I said, she worked over there. She had the same wig, the legs, and the dress. And somebody asked her, "What? We know it's a wig. That wasn't her real hair." But she said, and the guy goes, "Why you dress like that? You didn't dress like that last year." He said, "No, because I love Tina Turner. She's one of my favorite singers, and I want to be like her." I don't know if that's that she's obsessed or that's kind of creepy. She was nice, but she liked that. And she remained dressed like that for as long as I was working there like that. So, and she talked like her, it's like her twin sister. But I remember that memory stuck in my mind for as long as I live. So that's funny like that. So Tina Turner, we'll miss her, but her music lives on through videos, her albums. You can catch her videos on YouTube, or if you have them digitally, I can't say that word, on Apple Music, download them and listen to them. I got most of her hits. I got to get some more like that, Once an artist passes away, and if I don't have their songs, I download them and just listen to them like that. So yeah, it's kind of sad, and the whole music world was sad like that. And there were tributes about for her. It's kind of okay. All right, so that's the end of the show. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about the amusement parks that I have visited in the Chicagoland area and the ones that I haven't. Also, I did a tribute episode to singer Tina Turner. Okay. This episode will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. It's on Audible, which I found out the other day. You can listen there. Also, it's on my YouTube channel, Van Chicagoland Stories. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Do on all of them. Also, it will be posted on my social media accounts, Facebook and Twitter. And also my blog, Van Chicagoland blog. Okay. So that's good. I will do another podcast episode probably Tuesday, most likely. We'll see. If not, Saturday. So that's it, folks. Okay, so this is Pico Stars, your host of Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. This is the Memorial Day weekend. Hope you have the rest of a good day for the rest of your weekend. Of course, everyone will barbecue. Traditionally on Monday, I will do that too. I heard the weather's going to be gorgeous, so that's good. Not going to be hot. It's going to be hot later, which I can't stand. So that's I can tolerate that. Okay, so here's bye-bye for me, and here's Ray Rayner with a little traveling music saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone. So long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.